Hello, hello, everyone. Hello, hello. It's Tracy Cromwell here. It's Tuesday night. It's Tough Love Tuesday. It's an absolutely beautiful, beautiful spring day up here in the Seattle area. And because of that, I got thinking, I saw a bunch of cyclists out today, and I thought I should talk about bike safety because here in the Pacific Northwest, we're getting springtime, which brings out a lot of cyclists, a lot of new bikers, and all of that. And so, since I've been riding a bike for a pretty long time, I thought that I could bring you some tips and then also some research that I've done to help you with bike safety. So, why am I also talking about this? Well, I'm your integrative nutrition health coach and personal trainer. So, my hope is that I can help bring you some insights to help you create a most healthy lifestyle. And also, cycling to me was just so important since I was young. And so, I forgot, I got to remember to say this. So if you're listening on the podcast, you are listening to a live broadcast. So as with live broadcasts, anything can happen. So if you might hear some weird noise or anything like that, it's just that's the way it goes sometimes. So anyway, yeah, it's spring and it's time to get out on your bike. Maybe you want to learn to ride a bike. And so I thought I'd talk about that today. So I thought, hey, I dress up a little bit for the show. So anyway, bicycle riding for me has always meant freedom. I got my first bike, I think I was 9, learned how to ride a bike. And then it really changed a lot for me when I was, I think junior high, probably 9th grade. I won my beautiful 10-speed bike from my orthodontist. This is back in 1981. And that bike was just a dream for me. It was a Bianchi bike, I think pretty incredible bike for that time. And the other blessing I had was that our band teacher at the junior high school had a bike club. And I thought, I'll sign up. I was terrified and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And all I know is there was a bunch of guys and me. And so I learned to ride at a pretty young age in a whole different way. So I had to learn rules. I had to learn street rules. I had to learn how to, what voice signals to say while riding. And then also just bust my butt to keep up. So anyway, I learned how to ride in straight lines on the street, not double. I learned how to signal, like I said. I learned how to change who was in front and who would take the back and all of that. So I was really blessed with that opportunity. And so anyway, and later on, and I kept that bike forever. So I like I said, I won it in 1981, and I don't think I gave that bike up until probably 2005 or 6 when I got my third bike. Anyway, and then since then I've taken on century bike rides, riding 100-mile bike rides and things like that. And so I've had my experience of doing things the right way, and then on those 100-milers and on training rides, doing things in ways that I'll talk about too, that kind of got me into some situations that were kind of scary. So anyway, again, it's spring. It's great to be out on a bike, and just thought I'd bring these tips to everybody. So let's see. I just want to check something here. There we go. So I want to talk about kids first. It's really important with kids. Again, bike riding for kids is just an incredible opportunity, but it's really, really important that we teach kids bike safety. And I know when I was young, it was just like, jump on the bike. You didn't have to wear a helmet. You didn't have to do anything like that. And I'm sure it's all of us that got in, ourselves into trouble, is why we all wear bike helmets now, stuff like that. So anyway, make sure that if you do have children, spend the time with them, help them learn why they need, to wear a helmet, why there's bike safety, all of those kinds of things. Because a statistic stated, the nationwide children.org said that 25 children are sent to the ER every hour for bike-related injuries. And that's not to scare anybody. It's just to say, hey, let's go ahead and make sure, even us as drivers, we're paying attention, but also as parents, we're helping them, helping these kids get a really great start with riding a bike. All right, so here we go. So the thing you need to do is be seen. One of the best things you could do when riding your bike is be seen. So I wore my fluorescent jacket. So people can see this. They can see it driving, walking, all of those things. So you want to have bright colored, clothing on, have a headlamp, tail lights, reflectors, those kinds of things. And whenever possible, only ride during daylight hours. But I know a lot of times in cities, we have to commute in the dark. So be sure if you are riding in the dark, you've got the reflectors, you've got reflective tape on your bike, you're wearing reflective clothing. And then also they've got great headlamps now, headlights for bikes, tail lights, and you can also get great lamps for your helmets. Just the whole idea is that you want to be able to be seen. Okay. And it's so important. Okay. So have fun kind of making yourself visible and things like that. So also it's really good every year, especially if you're riding a lot, but every year or even more so, depending on how many miles you ride, is to have your bike checked and do like a tune-up. So, make sure that all the parts are secure. We can get lazy sometimes with a bike. Think, I'll just go out and ride, but it's good to check the chain, your spokes. Make sure too that if you have a horn or a bell or something, that's still working, because you really need that. Again, it helps you be seen and to be heard. You want to check the oil on your chain, the grease on your chain, make sure that's all looped up. Check your brakes, those kinds of things. If you don't know how to do that, there's bike shops you can hop into, and they can do tune-ups for you annually or do checkups for you. Tire pressure. Really important. It's good to know how to check your tire pressure. It's going to make your ride a lot more pleasurable if your tires aren't flat. And then let's see. Check your seat height, depending on the kind of bike you have. But I'll get a little bit more into that detail. But I know it was really worth it to me was to go in and get a professional fit with my bike. Okay. That way your seat's the right height. Your handlebars are going to be the right height, that kind of a thing. And so if you have the opportunity, say you're going to go get a new bike, they can fit you, or maybe you're buying it at a department store or another big box store or something. You can still take that bike in somewhere and have it get fit, because if you're not fit properly and you're going to do longer rides, say like me when I was doing a lot of the centuries, or if you're commuting to work, you're more apt to get stress injuries if your bike's not fit to you. So again, sizing the bike to you is really important. There's a really good tip here. The rider should be able to stand straddling the top bar of the bike with both feet flat on the ground. And that's what whoops, just hit the microphone. Anyway, so depending on the style of the bike, but, the rider should be able to stand straddling the top bar of the bike with both feet when they are both flat on the ground. And there should be 1 to 2 inches of space between the rider and that top bar if using a road bike. So road bikes like mine. But if you're riding a mountain bike, it's about 3 to 4 inches. But again, having a professional fit is really ideal. And then also getting your handlebars set properly. Now, this information here states that your handlebars should be the same height as your seat. But I would say it really depends on the person. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're comfortable and not necessarily just saying, I read it's supposed to be the same height as my seat. So just make sure. And you can always adjust things too as you try things. Okay. So adjust for your needs. And I really recommend just take the time to go ahead and get a professional fit for your bike. And then the next thing that's really important is always wear a helmet. Again, I do miss the days of hopping on a bike and just getting on. I didn't have to worry about any of this stuff, but really wearing a very good helmet is important. What's good too is the government has regulated bike helmets. So inside, you want to make sure there's a sticker. So mine has a sticker right there. So the sticker says it meets regulations, okay, of the Consumer Product Safety Commission. So make sure when you buy your helmet that it has one of these stickers in it, okay? And again, kids may not want to have to wear a helmet, but really work with them and let them understand the safety reasons of wanting to wear a helmet and why it's so important, okay? So you want to make sure that your helmet fits you good. Oh, I can't do this. It's crooked. Okay. Anyway, it fits you right. And you can have adjustments and add pads on the inside. You want to make sure it fits. And one thing to think about too, when you're riding with your helmet, I see sometimes a lot of this where the helmet's way back like this. You really want it. Oh, I can't do this in the window, in the mirror. It's all opposite. Anyway, you want it down. You want it down over your forehead. Okay, so if you notice that your helmet is flipping up and back, make sure you can bring it down. It's about an inch or two above my eyebrows. Okay, and it can have a little bit of flex and stuff like that, but you don't want it wobbling all over the place. And then each helmet has a different. You may want to go and make sure you're reading your manufacturer's instructions. But there's shapes, a V shape here around your ears, and then you want no more than like 2 inches of gap between your strap at your chin. And that way it's comfortable, but it's not going to fall off, easily, that kind of a thing. So the other thing is if you drop it or if you fall and hit your head with it, you want to replace it. The other thing is you want to check, my saying your manufacturer's, the manufacturer's information is to how much time frame they know that their materials are good for. Because even though you may not have damaged the helmet, over time, the materials can start to decay and it won't be as strong as you think it is. So it's good to replace your helmet, even if, say, you haven't dropped a bunch of times or you haven't fallen with it, just because of the materials degrading. So that's something really important to pay attention to. And then this was a good point, and I realized I haven't done it, is put reflective stickers on it in place. It's just another way that other people can see you and drivers can see you. So that's really good. So again, with the helmet, proper fit, pay attention, go ahead and take that extra time with the manual when you buy your helmet. And a lot of times too, these manufacturers now have a video that will help explain the exact fit that you should have for your helmet, and so that you get the best protection possible. All right. So again, like level is what you want. You want the V shape around your ear. The center buckle should be under your chin. And so it's snug, but not so snug, but also, not too loose. Okay. And let's see what to wear. Again, you want to be seen. So appropriate clothing so that you're visible. And so I have this jacket, but there's another thing I thought I could put on too. This a little lighter, maybe if you're just on a short jaunt and you don't want to wear a jacket, there's lots of things you can find that are reflector vests, like this one here I have for running, but you could easily throw it on over a jacket, and it's not very expensive. Your life is worth it to get something that reflects. Thanks, Shay. And anyway, so yeah, the idea is you want to be seen. And then the other thing, and this is a story I'm going to tell you because I made this mistake. So you want to make sure that nothing will get caught in your bike chain. I've had that happen to me a lot when I was a lot younger, but also, so anyway, you want to make sure nothing's going to get caught. So bike in the chain. So loose pant leg, backpack straps, or shoelaces. So I have a pair of commuter bike shoes. And I was training for one of my century rides, and I was doing a ride, and I was going up a hill, and I had forgotten when I had taken off to tuck the shoelaces in. And all this, I'm going up this hill, and I feel my foot's clipped in anyway, but I feel this just tugging and tugging and pulling all of a sudden and cinching down of my foot to my pedal, to where I couldn't pedal forward anymore. I was on a hill going up. I couldn't do anything. And all of a sudden my brain was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to fall to the left, which means I'm going to fall into the street. But my foot was hung up on the right side and I couldn't unclip. So I'm literally trapped there with not moving. And I look in my side mirror, which is another thing you want to get. You want to have a mirror either on your, you want a mirror on your handlebars. I put one on my glasses. So I immediately had to look in my mirror to see if a car was coming, because I was already falling. And I literally just fell on my side in the middle of the road and in pain because my foot was trapped. So if I can give you any kind of advice, shoelaces, you got to be careful because they will get wrapped around and you're going to get trapped. And that happened to me. And so anyway, thankfully there wasn't very much traffic, and there was one car, but they stopped and helped. And then we had to hurry up and try and get my shoe off because I was in so much pain from it getting just cinched down so tight. So anyway, it's really important in terms of what you're wearing that it doesn't get caught in your chain or start get wrapped around your pedal. Okay, so you can get little clamps that can go around your pant leg to hug it tight. And you can also, like I said, my shoes come with a way to hide my shoelaces. I forgot to put them in there. So anyway, this is really important. Let's see, wearing the right shoes. So sandals, flip-flops, shoes with heels and cleats won't help you grip the pedals safe. You just want to make sure you're wearing the right shoes, especially if you're going to be on the street, biking around vehicles and things like that. And say if you're commuting a lot, riding gloves can help. They just have padding and they can help your hands feel a little more comfortable. One thing which I wish I could do, but I know, number one, it's against the law here in Washington State, but also it's just not safe, is biking with a headset on where you're listening to loud music. It isolates you completely from your surroundings, so you can't hear if someone's trying to honk a horn at you, possibly to help you or anything like that. So be sure to leave the headphones at home or in your pocket and be really focused on riding your bike instead. So that's another safety rule. So this is a good one too, is where to ride. So make sure to be in clearly defined riding boundaries or setting riding boundaries, with kids. Make sure they understand how important this is where should they be riding their bike? Where are they allowed to ride? How far are they allowed to go? Discuss with them whether they should be riding on a sidewalk or if they should be riding in the street. And then, how help them think about how they can avoid common hazards, that can cause a fall, like rocks or uneven pavement, big puddles, which sound like to me something all kids want to do. They want to jump the uneven pavement. They want to go into the puddles. So sometimes they learn by doing, right? I know I did. So anyway, but back to where to ride. So there's the question of, do we ride on the sidewalk or do we ride in the street? So as an adult, The safest place for us to be riding is in the street. That's where we belong in regards to riding our bike. And that's really where we're safest. So, and where we are expected to follow, the rules of the road as the same as motorists are. And we should be riding in the same direction as traffic. So all I know for me, if I'm driving a car and I see a cyclist coming at me in the same lane, it's very distressing. They should be going with traffic. Don't ride opposite traffic. Even if you feel like you're safer, it's really not safer for you to be riding your bike opposite traffic. So when you're in the road, get on the side and ride with traffic. The other thing is, sometimes you'll want to check guidelines for riding on a sidewalk. Some places don't allow you to ride. I mean, some jurisdictions don't want cyclists on sidewalks. So make sure you know what the laws are where you're riding. The other thing I find that it's hard as a cyclist, as well as someone driving, to handle a cyclist that is on a sidewalk. Because as a driver, I wouldn't be expecting me to be coming, through the riding through a crosswalk. So if you're going to be in a crosswalk, you should actually get off your bike and walk it across, because when you're riding through a crosswalk, you are more apt to probably get hit, because the cars they're looking left, right, left. If all of a sudden you're coming through the sidewalk and they've already done that check, they start to turn and you're in the crosswalk, it's very difficult. Okay, so think about it that way too. How can I best be seen? Where are people expecting me to be? So coming out of driveways, all of those things, or coming off a sidewalk between vehicles, that are parked and popping out into traffic is very challenging and just a hard place for you to be safe. Okay, so think like you're driving a car, and how would you be entering traffic? How would you be leaving traffic? So, again, stop at corners, stop at stop signs. You're going to do all the same things as a motorist would do, which means if you have kids, you got to teach them what those motorist rules are, right? So if you are able to ride on the sidewalk, it's very good if you're coming up behind someone that's walking the same direction as you. You'll say, on your left, you're going to pass on the left. So you give them a little heads up if you have a bell, if you have a horn. Again, sometimes I'll say it loud. I'm like, on your left, really loud. So they can peek and then they move to the side. So that's the other thing. If you're on a walking path, we have beautiful paths up here where you can ride your bike, but you're also with pedestrians. And so you want to go ahead and make sure you're letting people know when you're passing. If you have another cyclist in front of you, you call out before you pass. You say, on your left. And sometimes if you're with a group, it's helpful to say 3 or how many are still coming, so that that person in front of you can be prepared. All right. So it makes for a really successful passing. So I wanted to make sure you knew that. So if you are a cyclist and you haven't ever done that, I really advise you to pick up the habit. If you're on a bike trail, you're on the street and you're going to pass another cyclist or someone that's walking, you pass on the left and you make sure they know you're there. Okay. On your left is what you say. Okay. Ring the bell or the horn if you have one. So again, bike safety means turn signals, right? So you're driving a car, you're supposed to signal. When you're driving your car, use your signal. When you're biking, use your signals. So again, we want to obey the laws of the road. And then also it just helps everybody. So a vehicle knows where you're going to be going. They know what you're going to be doing. So left turn is easy. Basically, you're riding your bike and you're going to put your left hand out. That's opposite. I'm sorry about that. It's reflecting opposite for me. So hopefully that shows right. This is my left hand. So left hand. Okay, if you're going to turn left. When you stop, you're going to drop your hand down like this because you figure I'm going to go opposite. Okay. So it looks right to everybody. Okay. So stopping means you're doing this. Okay. Oop. There you go. Okay. And that lets the cars behind you know that you're going to be stopping. And a right hand turn, you would be, again, holding your left hand up. This is my left hand, meaning you're turning this way, or you can go ahead and use your right hand to signal. But again, just like a car, we want to go ahead and make sure the people coming towards us, the people behind us, next to us, or whatever, they know our intentions, okay? If you feel kind of squirrely, having to take one hand off of your bike handlebars, practice in a big empty parking lot. Spend some time, so you feel okay and confident that you can do those turn signals when you need to, okay? So again, the other thing too is always have your mirror going. So, I got drama here with cats. Live, we gotta love it. Here, we want this one in. You want to come? Okay. So anyway, 1 minute. Oh, goodness. This is Buddha Boy causing problems. Let's see. There you go. Gotta love live video. Anyway, so let's see. What was I saying? Yes. So you want to use your mirror. So before you do a turn, you also want to make sure you know what's going on around you, know who's behind you, and those types of things. Okay, I think we're almost done. So when riding on the street, again, follow the rules that are of the street. And that is ride with both hands on the handlebars. So I know it might feel cool to take your hands off the handlebars, and all this and that, but you're on the street with other vehicles and other people. So keep your hands on your handlebars. Stop, check traffic, just like, so you come up to a stop sign. You're going to look, you're going to obey the law of who gets to go first, but then you're also going to check left, right, left before going into an intersection and progressing. You want to take a right-hand turn, left, right, left, all the same, okay? If it's a huge intersection, sometimes it's best to just get off your bike, take it up on the sidewalk and walk via a crosswalk. Okay, there's nothing wrong with doing that. Okay, but again, be sure to walk your bike in a crosswalk. Don't ride in your crosswalk. And also ride on the right hand of the street, on the right side. Okay, so that again, you're traveling with traffic. I know I mentioned that earlier. It's so important. Ride your bike with traffic. Okay, it's much safer. Don't ride against traffic. It's not a good idea. You might think it's a great idea. No, go with traffic. Okay. And then, here's a good one. This always makes me a little nervous. If, say, there's a bunch of parallel parked cars, you've got to be wary then. I always look to see, is there anybody in that vehicle that's parked on the side? Because they may not see you and they could open their door and you could go right into their door. So again, it's that, I guess, it's that like defensive driving, defensive cycling. So you're always looking, you're paying attention, not like you're afraid, you're just being aware of your surroundings. So watch out for those things. Stop at all stop signs, stop at all red lights, obey traffic. Here's again, ride single file on street when you're riding with friends. Please ride single file on the road when you're riding with friends. There's nothing worse than being a vehicle trying to drive and there's some cyclists riding double, sometimes triple, blocking the road and then thus forcing forcing a car to go into opposite traffic, opposing across a lane to get around you. So I'm a cyclist. I've been riding a long time. If I have one big beef with other cyclists is that when you ride double, you're putting people at risk. You're putting yourself at risk, and it makes people not like me being on the road. So that's my beef. And let's see. So ride single file, please. I know even if you're with friends, please just be courteous. Single file. Again, when you're passing other people, you say on your left, I'm on your left, you ring the bell, that kind of a thing. Oh, I have a good point here that came across in the comments. Know what your insurance will cover. Yeah, excellent point. You know, that kind of thing. Medical insurance is important. And so know what that is. All right. And let's see, I think I'm almost done. Ride defensively, like defensive driving. So you're going to be focused, right? You can be riding with friends, but be focused. You're on the street. It's interesting when I'm riding, I feel like I have all these sensors going on around me and behind me where I'm aware of traffic. I'm aware of what cars are around, what's going on. And again, it's not like I'm afraid or I'm nervous. I'm just aware and I'm paying attention because I want to have a successful ride. And then assume no one else is seeing you. Assume the other person has no idea that you're there. Okay. Really important. Oh, another good point just came over. Railroad tracks. So when you are riding a bike and you approach railroad tracks, you want to don't cross the same direction that they are. Your tires will get stuck and it will knock you down. Go 90-degree angle across tire tracks. So watch out for those. They are not friendly to cyclists. So thank you very much for that point. So again, assume that the others aren't seeing you. Nobody else is seeing you. Let's see. Yeah, watch out for, right here in my notes, train tracks, potholes, grates. And then here's a good one. No texting, talking on your phone, listening to music or anything that distracts you or keeps your eyes off of the road. All right. So anyway, I just thought this would be good, be predictable. I just would love for everyone to have a wonderful spring, summer, riding their bikes, learning how to ride their bikes, and really understanding. When you understand where you should be, how you should be riding, it is so much fun. You can go so many places. You can do so many things, right? And here's another one. Don't ride your bike drunk. Not a good thing. Just like a car. Don't do it. So anyway, you can practice. The more you're on your bike, the better you'll get. And always let someone know your route if you're going to be riding on your own or even with a group. If you're doing a longer ride, make sure people know where you're going. Have backup of spare tire with you. Have your insurance cards, your ID, all those types of things with you, just like you would in a vehicle. And those kinds of things. Yeah. So again, Tough Love Tuesday was about bike safety and getting people out there for safe and wonderful bike rides. And make sure you got a good helmet. Make sure you can be seen. Make sure your bike fits you. If you feel insecure on your bike, ride in a big empty parking lot till you feel better and more confident with it. If you're going to pass somebody, pass people on a bike path, I always say on your left and Obey those street signs. Okay. I think that's all I have. All righty. Love to everybody. Happy Tuesday. And here's to a great bike season. We'll talk to you soon. Okay. Bye-bye.